Hey y'all, and welcome back to another video of my creative life with Kel Sweetie, where we read books, we make art, and around a certain time of year we start holiday decor hunting. And today's vlog, video, haul thing is going to be some Halloween decor hunting. The other day I ended up needing to leave and I really wanted to just get out of the house, and so I decided to go to this great place in Pasadena, and it had a bunch of other stores around it, and I found a lot of great stuff for my Halloween decor this year, and I cannot wait to show y'all. So let's get into a little bit of the vlogging of that day and then into the haul. See y'all. As I said at the beginning of the vlog, there has been construction happening on this house for the last basically 2 weeks now, and now my ceilings have holes in them for one reason or another, as well as some personal things and trying to get my life together, and I just wanted to go Halloween decor hunting. I know a lot of stores don't have it, like the big box stores don't have it, but I did know of some Halloween around year-round places, especially being in Southern California. I'm lucky enough to have places like that did have something to fill that need, fill that urge. Luckily enough, Joann's, as well as at home, has started putting out their traditional Halloween stuff that's more my style. So I think soon enough, Michael's will follow suit, and I'm hoping Home Goods, because honestly, I love Home Goods, Marshall's, Ross, just because of how much of a treasure hunt it is. So I cannot wait until they start getting Halloween. However, I found a lot of great stuff the other day. One of the things that I found, it was pricey. It was pricey, but it sold out everywhere, and I it really fit my aesthetic and my decor, and I think I may even have these out year round. That's how much I love them. So let's get into it. I'm so excited to show y'all. First and foremost, we went to Halloween Town. Now, Halloween Town is the reason why I went out there in the first place. I was gonna go to Traditions, which I will go to Traditions at some point this year. I am betting on it. I have to, but they just have weird hours. But I ended up going to Halloween Town out in Pasadena. They're a year-round Halloween store. They do not let cameras in because they want you to kind of not have a clue what it's going to be when you walk inside, which I think is really dope, and I respect that. So there's no footage of me inside, but if you're ever in Pasadena or ever in Southern California and you're looking for Halloween decor hunting, or you're looking for spooky places to check out or stores, go check out Halloween Town. It's amazing. They've got everything there. They have some really great like setups and the ambiance and the vibes. It's amazing. I only got a few things from there because as great and amazing as they are, some of the things I knew that I could get there. So that was another thing too, is like with a year-round store, you're not as in like, oh, I need to buy that. I need to go out and get that like now and everything because it may sell out or I may not have it anymore or something. And so there was not the craziness of like having to like grab something as soon as I saw it. But I did know, and I was also trying to stay on budget because the Halloween hunting season's just starting. But I do know that I'm going for like a nostalgic Halloween party, 90s type of feel going on at the top of my bookcase this year. And a part of that idea are die cuts. So I got a good amount of die cuts. One of the die cuts I got, so I got 3 sets of die cuts, 2 of which are for my Halloween 90s Halloween party aesthetic theme. We're working on the name, but that's gonna be up top on my bookshelf and everything. These 2 are for, the plan is, now it may end up being in my spooky area depending on how, my spooky town area, depending on how things shake out. And they're just these Bessel brand die cuts, and they're these vintage die cuts that are really dope. They look, I mean, they basically have the rights to these like designs that are vintage and they sell them new. They're one of the few companies that still does that. You can buy these on Amazon, and I checked it out and they're about the same price, so I figured I would just, instead of having to wait for the shipping and stuff, I would just buy it in person. This was $10 and it's a jack-o'-lantern fortune telling game, which is really cool. You put in, like, I think you're supposed to put in your birthday or something. I gotta check out the instructions on the inside. Like, the instructions are in the actual, like, label, but you have to put in, like, a number or something. And then I think that it looks so cool. They had a witch one, but I love the jack-o'-lanterns. And I'm not a huge fan of vintage witches, just because of the historical history behind them and like the racism that's behind some of like the old ugly witches from the vintage like stuff. So I kind of stay away from it. Y'all know how I am. So I absolutely love this, and I can't wait to it kind of sits up, so it'll be cool when it's up on my bookshelf and it's displayed. Another thing I got was this centerpiece as well from the same company, and it's got like a cat and a little moon, and on the bottom here you fan it out like one of those old paper like fans that have, there's like an official word for it that's not just paper fan, that's like I can't think of at the moment. I'll probably put up something that says what the actual name is for it, but it's got like the whole like tissue paper fan at the bottom of it so that you can like sit it up. And this also came in a witch and a moon, but I like, again, like I said, I like the moon and the cat far more. Look at this little scaredy cat. He's so cute. This one was $11.99 because of like the fanning and everything, but I thought both of those were approachable as far as prices go. The last die cut that I got from Halloween Town is not actually for my bookcase, but for my Monster Mash area. And that's because I needed some Halloween memorabilia. That's the word I'm looking for. They had these great die cuts that the store Trick or Treat Studios made. This was $15.99 probably because of the trademark and everything from Halloween. And I really got it because I absolutely loved this one, and they just look so nice. This one on the front is like his old like home, and it has Strode Realty in the front of it, and the messed up jack-o'-lantern as well, and it's so good, and it has that vintage look that I absolutely love. We have like this weird open space between the TV and our credenza, and I always struggle figuring out what to put there, especially around Halloween time. I usually put like a banner that says Happy Halloween there to kind of fill that space. But with us having the Monster Mash theme this year, I don't really want to put that there because it's not on theme for what I'm looking for. So this is going to be great to kind of place there for my Halloween representation. So I'm really glad that I got that. Again, it was $15.99, and I thought that seemed, again, it's copywritten, and those things usually like cost extra. So I also love that these are designed by freelance illustrators. I'm like looking at the back of it, and now I want to look up this Marty McEwen who made this. So those were my pickups from Halloween Town. After Halloween Town, I went down the street to a place called Blast from the Past, and they're a comic book and action figure shop, but they do have a Halloween section, mainly because they already know that there's a lot of Halloween-based stores around them, so they stock it because of, one, it's pop culture. So they kind of focus on a lot of pop culture things. Actually, I was in there, and I found out that every third Thursday, they have a horror trivia night. So I think I might come through one day and check that out. I'm by no means a horror buff, but I don't know what type of questions they're asking. So apparently they were telling me there's like 5 people to a team, and there's always like one extra that they need. So it's like cool to have people come in and like be able to participate. So I don't know, I may go in there one day for that, but it was really dope. The guys who own it, like, they're great. They're fantastic. I went in there just to go in there. I didn't think there was going to be any Halloween specific things. I was very wrong. So one thing they've started doing there is having this new releases or new arrivals section of new things that they have coming in. And lately they've been leaning more and more into the Halloween stuff because it just pushes better. A lot of their action figure, Marvel, and DC comic book stuff still pushes, but they're higher in price and they're collectibles, so sometimes they're just harder to move as opposed to some of the seasonal things. Something that I've noticed, they had these amazing blow mold trick-or-treat pails from Halloween, like the kids from Halloween 3. They look so good, and they've been sold out online, and they were priced well. They were like 20 bucks, and they were great. However, I have to admit that I've only seen Halloween, the first movie, and that was last year. So I have to watch the rest of them still, and although I love the iconography of those 3 trick-or-treaters from Halloween 3, I have no idea what they are or what they mean. And I'm not going to buy something just because they look really cool, even though they look really cool. So I either have to watch Halloween 3 or something, because I'm tired of kind of not knowing what they mean and seeing really cool like images and things for them. Anyway, that's not, but in the vein of trick-or-treaters, they got these in stock. I can't believe that they actually had these. If you don't know what these are, one, they were a NECA Ben Cooper partnership or collaboration that happened this year. NECA started pre-selling these around, I want to say February, and they just started going out to people this May. Unfortunately, unless you were stalking the NECA site or following them on Instagram, you had no clue that they released these, and you just started seeing them pop up everywhere. Well, joke's on you because, well, it was on me, because they were sold out. Completely sold out. And I was devastated because I absolutely love Ben Cooper. I love how it looks. The vintage look is just absolutely it. This packaging is amazing. Like, even the back of it. they're already reselling for an arm and a leg. You can't find the girl anywhere because they only made one that actually absolutely looked like a girl, with her like pigtails, like is definitely like coming off as a girl, and that was the one that was for Creature, of course. But what I did really love about these is they tried having some skin tones. Halloween stuff, you hardly ever get a lot of skin tones, and it's unfortunate. And what I really loved is that you can tell the mummy one is definitely a black kid. And then I also got the skeleton, which I think was kind of cute that they made. It was kind of like a nod to Day of the Dead, but also slightly like I'm getting like lucha libre type wrestling type vibes from it as well, like him and his mask and everything, but this one definitely comes off as being like more so Latino. And then, of course, I had to get the Frankenstein one. He just looked so amazing in his mask and his little jack-o'-lantern. They all come with, like, trick-or-treat bags or, like, jack-o'-lantern buckets. So, yeah, I got 3 of them. And as you can see, the price sticker is still on them, and they were $30 a piece. So, I spent a lot of money on these. And I honestly don't regret it. I was talking to the guy. He was saying we just got these in and they're already moving so well. And we wanted to buy more because of people coming in and wanting to buy them up. We found out we can't buy anymore wholesale from NECA. They're just not making anymore. They're tapped out. So I'm glad I got my hand on one because they've been sold out online and they're reselling for a lot. I was surprised to see that they even had what they had in there. I gasped when I saw them because I couldn't believe that they even had them at all. So these will be going for certain in my nostalgic 90s area. Trick-or-treating, for like first grade Halloween party. We're workshopping the title. But these are definitely going in there, and more than likely I'm going to keep these up year round. Like these will be, I don't keep out my Halloween year round because it feels that much special when I finally get to pull it out. But, and I also have so much other things that I collect and keep around the house. But these, I definitely feel like I'll leave out year round just because of how special they are. So, still going back and forth on whether or not I'll take them out the box. Because also the box is just amazing. But we'll see. I don't know. I feel like they would look better like out of the box, just for displaying during Halloween and maybe keeping them in the box the year, like the rest of the year around. But until then, I keep staring at them. Their little masks are all matte and their costumes have that vinyl. They're so cute. I can't believe I found these. So that was what I found at Blast from the Past. It was really great. After Blast from the Past, I went to Goodwill, found nothing. That was a flop. But I did go down the street from there and I went to this place called the Mystic Museum. Now, they're a great place, especially if you kind of dabble. Like, they have witch candles and tarot cards and things of the crystals and things of that nature, and it's split up in like 4 parts. So one part of the store is all of that. You move to the middle part of the store and it has all of these like vintage items that are really great. They have apothecary jars, they have vintage medicine bottles, they have vintage medical equipment, they have vintage photographs. I think I saw a vintage like headshot in there. They had plaques, like if you're into the macabre and everything, they had all that type of stuff. That's in the middle of the shop, and then the third portion of the shop is more of the movie, pop culture, horror movie franchise type of area. So they collect some like vintage items and also resale like toys and stuff in that area as well. And then in the fourth area, which is in the back of the entire store, is their display. And like they set it up in different ways. I think every quarter or so. Right now I believe it's it's Y2K or high school, something or another. But basically there's a bunch of photo ops that you can do and experiences you can have in the back of their place. I think one year they did like the Y2K kills. They did a bunch of 2000s or late 90s horror movies. They did Camp Horror another year where it was all movies that take place in the woods. It's really, really a lot of fun and it's really great. I went in there looking for apothecary items because of my witch kitchen this year, and I thought they'd be perfect for me to find some things. Some things are a little pricey, and then some things they're priced really well, so you just have to kind of dig through things. I found an amazing piece. So while I was looking for apothecary items, I did not get any from them. They were just either priced too much, or some of the things I found, I almost bought this like tin that had like botanicals on it and everything, and I thought that'd be perfect for my apothecary, but it had some stuff on it, and you have to be careful with buying like vintage things like that still have some of the things in it or around it, because a lot of that stuff back then was poisonous even when it was fresh, and the last thing you want is to have something poisonous that may, seep through, I don't know, like one of my bins, and then they've ruined all of my stuff. I don't know. I couldn't tell you, but I didn't feel right about it. So I ended up not buying any apothecary items, but I did find this amazing vintage Collegeville costumes, Casper costume. If you don't know, as we just talked about Ben Cooper, the other leading costumes maker, basically ever since like I think maybe like it was like the 80s or the 90s when both of these like companies kind of started going a little bit, they weren't as big, was Collegeville Costumes. It was Collegeville Costumes and Ben Cooper. They were the ones that you went to for, they basically made the cheap costumes that you would buy at the corner store and now are huge vintage looks. Well, this one had Casper, and it was in such great, the actual costume is in a lot of great condition. It looked fantastic just in the box. Like, the box itself is delicate, but it's still in really good condition. The color of it was fantastic. $25. I couldn't believe it because a lot of these costumes go for $80, especially if they're in good condition and for something that's recognizable like Casper. So I got it. I picked it up immediately. I wouldn't put it down. I found it and I refused to put it down because I didn't want somebody to snatch it up or whatever. And so I was guarding it with my life. And especially at $25, I just was amazed that they would even price it at that, because, it was amongst other people who know what this is and that was in amazing shape. I'm like sitting here like taking it out. The actual costume is in like amazing condition. It's like a little baby costume, and it looks just like that. I'm just still amazed. And it has a little hat that's supposed to go on top of it for like the baby to just look like a little ghost with his Casper costume on. So I just still can't believe that I ended up finding this and finding it for such like an affordable price. Like it wasn't overpriced, and I'm just still blown away by that they even had it priced at the price that they did, because again, like the people who work in there know how insane it is to get something, one, that is branded with what it was branded with, but also in this colorway. It's in a very classic Halloween colorway. It has this great packaging that it comes in. Yeah, I'm just like, I couldn't believe that they had it priced at what they did, and I picked it up immediately. Like, it's delicate, but it's perfect. So that was a really big find for me, and was absolutely worth more than $25. So really great. I'm gonna have to like tape it back up a little bit so that it just kind of works as a full thing and not open it back up again, because I don't even want to mess with it again. And then one of the last places that I went to that day was play clothes, which I had never been inside of. I had gone inside of all these other places, but from the outside, it looked like it was more of a vintage, like 50s vintage clothing shop, and I just didn't think that that's not really my vibe. But then I thought about the fact that like maybe they had some vintage bottles or something along those lines in there. For my witch kitchen, I've already stated that I want it to be kind of like a vintage witch kitchen of some kind, and so I want bottles from and like things from that era. So I went in there for that, and that's what I found. One of the things I found was this great Red Cross cotton Johnson & Johnson sterile cotton. They're not swabs, they're bandages, and they look so great. It's just absolutely fantastic. So yeah, these bandages were amazing find. The box is still in really great condition, and it was only $4 for this. And I thought that, you know, an apothecary, especially like I'm thinking like this is an apothecary not like in the 1800s, but more like I'm thinking like in the 70s, 60s. 60s I think is a sweet spot on where I'm thinking this is taking place. And she also needs, like, you know, bandages for people who come to her, like practical magic, like actual medicine and everything. That's the thought process. That's where I'm going. But this made sense to me. It was in great condition. I bought this. It was $4. Great buy. Another thing that I got was this drug, like it's an apothecary bottle. And they had it for 14, but I honestly thought it was going to be more because there are apothecary bottles that I've seen that are like this size and they want like $47, and I'm like, you're losing it. It's glass at the end of the day. Like, let's just calm down. But it was blue, and I thought that was interesting. It would break up some of the noise of the brown and clear ones that I've already gotten, because I really want everything to kind of it just not look so perfect. And so I love this. I love that it said Emerson Drug Co. on it, actually on it. It said Bromo Seltzer. And so, yeah, it's definitely like an apothecary type of bottle. And I thought it looked perfect. The last thing I bought, which I have absolutely made sure that the lid can never come off of this thing. They made sure the lid couldn't come off of this thing 5 million times. We made absolutely certain. And that was this mineral oil container, which was only $4. It has this great vintage label on it. And I loved it because I feel like it said, I made certain that this was mineral oil that you know you would take a spoonful of before you went to sleep at night and everything, because that's what people used to do because they were told it was supposed to make them healthy. It even has things like not absorbed, non-fattening, because of course that would be important if I'm eating oil, odorless, tasteless, and crystal clear. Uh, and then it has all this information on the back of it. So I thought that this would be so cool because I just feel like I feel like there's some like medicines from like the 50s and 60s that seem like witchcraft simply because of how crazy it seemed that people were drinking it. Like these compounds and chemicals and things that were told like, oh, this is going to make you feel better or make you prettier or whatever the case was. And it was literally just like chemistry. So I really love this because it felt very appropriate for this like vintage type of apothecary that has elixirs and stuff, and very like reasonable. Like she would have this to prescribe with like wearing a crystal every other night that you went to sleep or something. So that was $4, and I'm so happy that I got it. I love that there's just a little bit in there. I have made sure, and I asked them, like, has it ever been opened? They said, we haven't opened it since we've gotten it, which was a while back. They double made sure we all have screwed this tight. It's not coming off. And I think that the top's actually corroded to the bottle, which is great. It's like a great little seal. So that was everything that I got on my trip, my Halloween hunting trip yesterday, which was the 13th. And I just, again, I cannot say enough how fruitful I feel like that Halloween hunt was. Honestly, if I hadn't bought the Ben Cooper dolls, I really wouldn't have spent a lot of money on some things that were really fantastic. Those die cuts are amazing. I can't believe I found that costume for the price that I did. And even the apothecary bottles are going to look really great for my Halloween setup this year. But those Ben Cooper ones are still a steal because they're sold out everywhere. Today, I also went to Joann's and I wanted to show, I know that I've talked all this mess about, you know, some of the early stuff that was coming out of Joann's. They've now started to put out their more traditional Halloween things, and I think it really does look great this year. I ended up going to one that was nearly fully stocked, and I saw some things that I actually haven't really seen yet. And you might have seen some of that in the footage that I showed earlier, like the stained glass, the faux stained glass skull and pumpkin, as well as those lanterns that you're supposed to put outside that are steel. Those looked amazing. I thought I saw a lot of great stuff. I originally went in there because I really wanted the vintage looking ghost ornament that they have. On second thought, like, they didn't have it, but really I think that it was like a blessing in disguise, because I've thought about the fact of, I don't know where I would have put that. I think I like it better as like the idea of a figure rather than an ornament, because I don't do a Halloween tree. And so I found these great things instead, two great things. The first thing that I found was something that I didn't know that they were selling. I hadn't seen in any other videos or anything like online, and so it was a bit of a surprise when I saw it, but it was really my like vintage Halloween aesthetic, traditional, and that is this great jack-o'-lantern and cat. It's so cute. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's got that like vintage look to it. It's a little scaredy cat and everything. I absolutely love it. Now, did they overcharge it just a bit, even for the percentage off? Absolutely. And that is because they put a light inside of this jack-o'-lantern, which I'm upset about because it's a colorful light. It is not a light that is just white. And I have to admit that I'm becoming upset with these big box stores making all of their light up products colorful, because especially in pieces that look like this, that seem more vintage, usually more times than not, the people who are trying to buy this want a vintage look because it looks vintage. So therefore, the colored light is nothing for me. I'm never going to turn that colored light on because that doesn't scream vintage. Now, if it glowed from the inside, I would definitely turn it on. I feel like a lot of people may end up not getting it because I almost didn't get it, but I kept walking around and I kept thinking about this piece, and I was just like, I really like that one. I'm gonna get it. But I think a lot of people may not end up getting it simply because it does that stupid colored light thing, and they're charging extra money for it. I couldn't. This one was $39.99 with the 40% off. It came to about $24.99, and I still think that that was kind of expensive. I think something like this at HomeGoods would be $12.99, even $16.99. It's one of the reasons I like shopping there, because it really is more savings in the big box stores. But it does kind of upset me even more that they're really charging it. They're upcharging it because of the light inside, which I think is just not appropriate for a piece like this. It just doesn't feel right creatively. But I was in love with this statue far too much to care about that. So that's a me problem. But I think that it's so cute. And like I said, I think that some of their traditional Halloween things are looking really great. So I'm eating my words. I'm glad we're moving forward. But this was so, so cute. Then the last thing that I got was something that I have mentioned before that I absolutely did want from Joann's, no matter what. The tree hugger. The alien tree hugger. I'm so excited to have this because this is going to be great in my Monster Mass area for our X-Files type of shelf that I'm thinking of doing, because that's our obsession right now, is the X-Files. It's a blow mold, which is great because it still has that vintage type of look with it. And what I love, my concern was the fact that I felt like there may be like a post because it was a tree hugger. So I didn't know how you were supposed to attach it to the tree. It has Only, it's basically just a blow mold with a screw hole in the back. So that's the idea. If you end up buying one of these, the idea is that you put a screw in your tree and then you hang it on the side of it for the illusion. I want to use this as like an actual, like to put on the idea is that it's going to go on the side. I'm like sitting here, you can't even see that. But the idea is that I'm going to put it on the side of like either my TV or my credenza or something, using command strips along the side. And I love it. I love that it's an actual blow mold. I love the look of it, that it's like an old school, like just gray alien. I've said this before, but I saw that they had these green, fluorescent green alien skeletons, and I wish they would have sold them in like the smaller sizes. They only have them in the big sizes, and I think that unfortunately they're not going to sell as many as they should probably of that design of the skeleton, simply because the big skeleton's like $119, and unless you're really into like alien type Halloween or just aliens or the X-Files, a lot of people aren't going to buy like a very specialty skeleton for that amount of money. But I feel like if they had the smaller ones of that, they would sell a lot more. And unfortunately, if they don't sell a lot, they're not going to make the design again. But regardless, I absolutely love this. I cannot wait to decorate it in my space. I really feel like the Monster Mash area is really starting to shape up really nice. And it's like one of the things I'm most excited about. I have my eyes on a couple of things on Etsy as well. I'm starting to also think about like, okay, is there anything that I want to only have iconography and photos and memorabilia from those things? Or do I also want to play up the idea of a movie mash, a movie monster mash type of thing, and get like old school popcorn buckets or like marquee signs? There's just so many ways that I can go about it, and I'm excited that I found what I found already, just getting the Halloween hunting started. So I like that, like, I'm kind of thinking outside the box for that one. But this was really great to find. They also had a zombie one that looked really great. Honestly, if I loved zombie movies, I would absolutely want that one. It looked like an old school blow mold zombie. So if you're into zombies, I highly recommend that one. They also had like a jack-o'-lantern scarecrow looking one, which looked really like cool. And again, it did look on point of like something vintage, but I didn't know where I would put it. Like, it wouldn't really work on top of my bookcase, and there's no room in my spooky town situation. And I'm really trying my best that if I cannot picture where this thing can go that I like, I'm just not gonna buy it, because that's how you get spending far too much money Halloween decor hunting. So I made sure that I didn't do that, even though it looked really great. So I highly recommend you checking that out. They also had a skeleton, which I hadn't seen the skeleton. So that was a surprise to see that one out. And I think that's it. They had 4 different ones. I hadn't seen the skeleton though, so that was definitely new. They had also a huge, like, it put the Home Depot skeleton to shame. Joann's is like, we're putting on the stops to get out of bankruptcy. And because Halloween is their second, I overheard the manager was training somebody. He's like telling him like, Halloween is our second best-selling time of year. People come in, it's right behind Christmas. Christmas, I feel like, will always win out. But regardless, he was telling him, so we put this stuff out early and stuff, but you want to make sure that it stays replenished, because there's people who come in and they're always looking for new things, and they'll ask you if it's in and this, that, and the other. And it was just funny to kind of hear how it's just like the impact of the Halloween hunting community is happening. And of course, you always hear a couple of people walk by the Halloween stuff and go, they're already putting out the Halloween stuff? Isn't it early? And you're sitting there and you're just like, no, Janet, it's not. Damn it, Janet, it's not that early. So, yeah, it was fun. And I'm really glad that I found these. I'm actually, because I found these and really kind of had some time to think about it, I'm kind of glad that I didn't find the vintage ghost, even though I was looking for it. Because I feel like that was my main reason why I was going in there, like this alien and that. And the more that I kind of saw some of the other things, to kind of like the stained glass pumpkin looked great. And it's $19.89 with 40% off, so it's priced pretty well. But the more I kind of started thinking about it, I was like, you don't have a Halloween tree. What are you going to use that for? And it's a glass ornament, so it can't even stand up on its own. So I'm glad that I did get the cat. There was also a tin Spooky Town like silhouette fold out that I almost got as well. But it was priced a little higher. And I'm still waiting for the Lee Max things to hit Michael's because to build my Spooky Town. So depending on how that goes, because they're releasing a lot of cool new ones according to like their showcase that they showed earlier this year. So I want to see what I can do there before I kind of start looking at things like that, like the tin house like silhouette. I don't feel like that's gonna fly off the shelf. I may eat my words. But I don't feel like they're gonna run out of those. So if I end up like getting close to the end of the season and going, okay, I still don't have enough for something substantial like I want, I'll go out and get those and then figure out like just putting my little people in front of those spaces. And I think that'll still look cool and it'll fit in with the rest of my 10 houses that I've gotten from Target over the years. This was a fantastic haul. I am excited. We are moving. The ball has now started to roll. I feel like I needed a moment to just start going, and then it's one of those things where you're like, okay, and now I'm starting to see possibility everywhere. On eBay, on Etsy. Honestly, I need to chill because, like I said, HomeGoods, Marshalls, Ross, TJ Maxx. We're still waiting on them. And Michael's. Well, Michael's actual, like, Halloween stuff. So we still have to wait for those big box stores. Target, of course, still has to put out all of their stuff, but they're always late. Them and Walmart always late. I want to see if Walmart starts bringing back some more of their vintage stuff again, because I feel like they got rid of some of it. It was light on the vintage last year from them. And I would love to see if Target does something that isn't so cutesy again. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I cannot wait to keep on hunting and hauling with you all as we keep on going throughout the rest of the season, Halloween decor hunting. Thank you for all the love and views and support and everything on my holiday haul videos that I posted. I know that was a long one, so doing a part 1 and a part 2 seemed like the only way to go about it, but I appreciate y'all watching it, both parts, and commenting and saying that you love my finds and stuff. It really is amazing. I'd asked y'all if y'all preferred something that was longer, like I gather everything that I have and show it, or would you rather me go store to store? I've had people say that they actually do like the longer ones, but I've also heard people say that the store to store shorter ones are also like more digestible. So we're gonna do both. We're gonna see where the wind takes us. Like today, I had enough to kind of go, okay, let's do one for like the full day from all these different stores. But, you know, maybe I'll slow down a little bit now till maybe when Michael starts showing their stuff. I don't know. And then I'll probably just do a haul that doesn't have anything else. Thank y'all again for watching. I appreciate it. If you like this video, please like it down below and stick around and subscribe. There's just going to be more Halloween hunting videos coming out, but also, as y'all know, this is also a booktube channel, so prepare for reading sprints are coming up, book recommendations are coming up. I've got to do my reading wrap up for this month. The reading is still happening, as well as the fact that next month especially, I think that's when I'm going to really start getting into the crafts and everything, because we would have been a little bit more into seeing more Halloween in the stores. So I'll have a better idea of like what I may need to really craft. So stick around. Thank y'all again for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.